You know, we want this to be as intuitive as possible, and it should just honestly feel like your smartphone.
New software, new capabilities.
They know a thing or two about speed because this thing absolutely flies.
The role of our infotainment system is huge. It's what the customer sees when they first get in. The dash, the displays all light up and it welcomes you. So we wanted to create this digital experience where we can introduce technology globally. Where we started to run into challenges was bespoke platforms and suppliers that had their own way of building user experiences.
We might spec something and then we wouldn't see it for a year or two. And when it came back, often there's not enough time to make changes. So a lot of compromises had to be made.
The biggest catalyst was for us to have that touch point or control for the customer user experience. Ultimately, it was about having our hands on the steering wheel.
We were all doing technology studies to try to figure out what's the best possible solution for the next generation of infotainment. Flutter kind of came in almost as like a crazy idea, like, well, what if we try that? What really set Flutter apart is that kind of qualitative experience that everyone had just like touching it. And it really did feel more like a smartphone than like a kiosk or something like that.
We evaluated based off of costs. There are a lot of platforms that are not open source and they charge per seat. We did a lot of initial sort of proof of concepts using Raspberry Pi and some screens that we could go get from the stores.
It was really important to us to build our team in a way that puts designers and developers together. That way, when there's things we realize after testing that we need to change, we can sit down together and solve the problem.
Dart is pretty familiar. It was very easy to jump in and learn Dart.
The custom embedder is something, actually one of the very first pieces of technology we built in the initial Flutter prototype. We can easily create plugins to kind of support those automotive functions that need to directly be accessed by the Flutter layers.
We want to get from design to production as fast as possible. So when we make updates in our design tool, we can see those realized as fast as possible in code and then on the actual head units themselves.
Overall, our approach with Flutter has really been to leverage the developer tools as much as possible because so many of those tools are already designed with a great development workflow in mind, even if the target happens to be a vehicle instead of a phone. There's a lot of similarities, surprisingly. The pub dev ecosystem has been a huge support for us. The most obvious one we use is Provider. Probably couldn't have built our app without relying on that for almost everything.
Having Flutter as part of our design workflow now has really made us on equal footing with how fast both roles can go, both with design and development. There's no longer a big handoff moment.
Flutter enabled us to have user experience be agnostic to hardware.
From the feedback being ingested, it is possible for us to put that into code and have it working within the code base within a single day.
We are also deploying this new platform on Rev throughout the world. We have teams in Europe and Australia and India and Japan, all building on the same platform.
The RAV4, that was our first vehicle that we launched the system on. And then in the fall, the 2027 Highlander BEV. We're very excited to get this out on a lot of vehicles.
Toyota is the first company that would come out and said we're using Flutter in automotive specifically. I very strongly don't think we'll be the last.